Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and welcome to Show and Tell number 271. So, yeah, we're filming really early again. This is another Sunday filming day. I just have the time. I have about an hour and a half window here where I can film, and I'm going to take advantage of it because, once again, I don't know what this week is going to look like. I know we're going to have the whole family over for 4th of July, minus one. It's not going to be able to make it, but it's going to be a full house on Friday. But between now and Friday and Tuesday, I don't know what's going to happen. So we're going to take the time today. I'm going to sit down and talk to you guys about what I got. Oh, mercy me. Now it's been crazy. We had the pool party with my friend and her kids. Went wonderful. The kids had a blast. We had a battle royale for bedtime. It ended in a stalemate. Adults agreed. On occasion, you don't have to go to bed on your bedtime, but most of the time you do. No, they are such funny kids, and they are easy to self-entertain and amuse themselves. My godson had just started swimming last week, officially like swimming, not like just kind of paddling and being in the water. So he was having a lot of fun. He actually kicked himself down all the way through the deep end and back with one of the floats. So it was a lot of fun. It was an entire day though. So like nothing happened that day. I worked out and I got to play with friends. That was it. I basically made, after that, I heated up dinner and took a shower and went to bed. I was wiped out. Oh, Lord. Yeah. I'm getting old. That's one of those moments where it's like, yeah, I'm getting old. So I've had my fingers in only a couple of things this week. I am very happy to announce, though, we will start off with FOs. I am very happy to announce that I do have one of my Project UFO Go goals done. So I did take the last 2 scarves worth of the 4 patches and turned them into scarves. These 2 I still need to weave in the ends on. I have gone back and woven in the ends on the first 4 that I did. So that's the first one. Now the second one, I did not have enough squares to do a straight 6-foot scarf. So I hand sewed in the square that I was missing for the one that I had 3 out of the 4. And what I did is I did 2, just like I joined the others, added a couple rows of granny stitch, did 1 4 patch, some granny stitch, another 4 patch, some granny stitch, and then added the last 2 like I'd done the previous ones. So I know there was a lot of debate when I said I thought I was just going to come back and do these as scarves, just finish off the 4 patches as scarves instead of trying to make it a blanket or turning it into a ruana, which I thought was a wonderful idea. I don't need another ruana. I already made one this year, and I've already got another granny square project for a wearable. So it's kind of like, I think making scarves is really the best use out of these. I think these make really fun, unique, funky scarves, and I'm sure they will be greatly appreciated at transition. So I will do 5 hats or head warmers or something to match these in black, and those will go to the donation box. I'm very excited about that, but they're so cute. I really like how those turned out. So I might, as I'm finishing up some of these scrap projects that I already have, I might redefine how I do my corner to corner for scrap gans and my granny squares, so I can have like 1 or 2 granny squares that I put together as I'm going instead of sewing, and make 4 patches that way that I can then put in together to make scarves, and then I can just crank hats to match the scarves. See? Sometimes I have some big brain thoughts, but that's what I'm thinking, because I really like how these turned out, and I really like these with the black border, but those would be really cute with like a tan border or an off-white border too. So it wouldn't have to be all black, but I could just do a ton of black, off-white, and white and tan hats and scarves and hats and ear warmers. And that would be all I have to sit there and hand do instead of, anyway, that's where my brain was thinking. Because I could easily, with scraps in a normal year, get about 10 or 12 scarves worth of scrap out there, but I just didn't want to sew these 4 patches together. So anywho, that is what we have. That is done. I am very excited. So now I have to complete 3 more projects before I can start something new. So none of these will be that project, probably. I only have 3 other projects to share with you guys that I brought up here. I will take a picture, though, of the kaleidoscope blanket and pop that in here. So I am doing the continuous join as you go, but I think I'm only like halfway through this 1 row and that's it. Maybe by the time I edit this, I will have this row completed, but I've only put 1 row on the blanket. My basket was pretty full coming up here just because I'm batch filming videos, so I didn't want to haul that up here as well, because that is quite a bit of a haul. So, my youngest granddaughter's blanket, the progress I made on that. So, I have the last 9 patch I think I will need for her blanket. I have 2 solid squares with the ends woven in already. I'm very proud of myself. I'm trying really, really hard. I still have 5 more of the 9 patches to weave in the ends on, so I'm trying. And then we have our first donut square, whatever it's called when you don't do the donut, you do the corners. So if you don't remember from the picture that I shared last week in Show and Tell 270, this is the arrangement we're looking at for that. And then we'll have tan. So it'll be donut, tan, 9 patch, tan. And then they'll be joined in an off-white color. So this is taupe from Premier Basics. The joining color is linen from Premier Basics. We have rose and blush. I remembered it this time. Ballet and taffy. So these are really shade matches, or they're color matches, but this is definitely more of like a rosy pink. And this was the closest I could come to a corally pink to match the taffy. And I think it worked out really, really well because I wanted just that subtle difference, because I had these 3 in my stash. I had taffy, rose, and blush in my stash. So I was really only adding this for the colors. And I think it worked out really well. I used the compare color feature on the Premier website in order to see, like I put these 2 up to see how those look in the pictures. And I knew what those looked like in person. So I found something that looked the same, trying to create the light and the dark. And then I came in and added the taupe. I thought that was a really nice neutral to go with that trio of colors. And see, with the taupe, you can see where this has more of that rosiness to it versus the bright corally of this one. And then the off-white will set it off, I think, very, very nicely. So anyway, next week we will actually have some joined squares to show for all this, because that's actually what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to start joining these so we have progress that way, as well as showing the blocks that I'm finishing, because the blocks are getting old and they're getting lost in the jumble. I would like to start showing progress on the blanket, although it does take me like 3 nights to do one of these squares and get the ends woven in on it. So it'll be a little while, and it takes me 2 workouts to do 1 and like a third of the granny square, the big taupe granny squares. So I'll get one of those finished today when I work out, and then on Monday night I should have the next of the donut square one. I've got to remember what that's called when you just have the corners and it looks like little dog ears. Because it's not Ohio square and it's not churn dash, it's something else. And now I can't remember the name of it. It's been weeks now. Anywho, my other granddaughter's blanket has gotten some work on it. It's not dramatic. Not dramatic, but I sat there in the car today going to church, debating on whether or not to frog this again, and decided, no, I like the way it looks. I'm being overly picky. And part of it is because I can only see such a small amount of the colors because I'm still only on the second square. So this is just a miter square blanket. I've got 40 stitches per side on the miter square here. And I am alternating a Caring cake and a Hirschner's puff pastry cake to do this. And I keep freaking myself out that we kind of look like one color, and it's true, it does, but that's because we had the green and now we have the pink as the primary color, and we haven't had that color change because we're still only through 2 squares. I just picked up and cast on for the 3rd square, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep going where it is. But yeah, that's where I am. Last time y'all saw it, we were down here on the 2nd square, so I completed all of this up. So over half of the next miter square. I am using one of my little dino markers from Yarnable. And I'll hook this down here. It shows me where to do what row when I see that first. That's the row I'm doing the decreases on. I'm doing the decreases on the back side. So anyway, that is where we are. And I have it in this super cute bag, which I'm not sure where I got it from. This could be one of the ones where I went on Etsy and looked it up and they weren't making bags anymore. But if I can find it, I will link it down below. The last project I've had my fingies on is, it's like the sock set shawlette. And I will leave it in the description box down below. So this is using month 3 of the Simply Sock Yarn Company yarn set. So if you're not familiar with what this yarn is, this is Townhouse Yarns. Check out the 3rd month's unboxing for this. I am still slowly working on the shawl for month 2 as well. And then we will come back and do a final wrap up for what I thought of doing this. Unfortunately, like I said, my time to sit down and do things has just been non-existent. These are projects that take some concentration. I can't just like do these in the car or, pick it up and just kind of roll with it. So it has been a bit of a slog trying to get some of these projects done this year because I'm just not able to sit down in a large, not my cup of tea generally. But yeah, so I've got 1 out of the 3 projects done until I can cast on something new. And boy, howdy, do I have some starteritis. I will have the yarn coming for 3 more of my stepkids and grandkids blankets. That will just leave 1 left to buy for. And I have one of the primary colors for that. I think I'm going to have to go in store to find the dark blue, and having the dark blue with the copper will then set me up to be able to do the rest of the colors. So I do have a cream if I decide to do the dark blue, the copper, the cream, and a tan. I won't necessarily need to add the 5th blue color, but anyway, it's taking some braining. And his is a little bit harder to come together, but I'm using Hirschner's worsted 8 for 3 of them. And I was able to order all that with a little bit of a sale the other day. So I've got that done. And I can't wait to show you my oldest grandson's blanket colors because they are so cool. I think that's going to be the one where I like the colors of it the most. And it's very similar to a certain degree to his sister's color palette. Like they would almost coordinate based on those colors, and it's kind of cool. But anyway, you'll see what I mean here shortly. As soon as that gets here, yeah, that yarn should be here either today or tomorrow. So that'll be in the next round of filming that I take care of. I am so excited. I am so nervous about getting these blankets done, but I'm so excited about the colors that I have chose. Everybody's color palettes are already set up and stuff. I just need to, I've got 2 that I'm piecing together, 2 that I'm actively working on, 1 that's already halfway done, and then I can start starting the other ones and get those rolling too. So I need to decide who's going to be modular and who's going to be all in one, because right now I have a bunch of modular blankets and then 2 that are all in one. So anyway, I love you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful, fantastic day. I'm trying to limit words. I'm trying to not overspeak and do too much. So anyway, I love you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful, fantastic day. Please take care of yourselves. Bye, you guys.